up to you.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Uninkable Dads podcast. This week we're looking into the metagame as we gear up to the UK's first CCQ. We have our Art Matters game and cover getting prepared for big events. So talking about big events, by the time this goes live, I won't actually find me here alongside Glenn. But this week I've rolled up my playmat, packed away my cards and ditched my co-host as I'm driving solo down to Cardiff. But don't worry, I've left him a snack and a Disney playlist to keep him busy. So while one of us tunes into the live stream, the old one be rocking away in the corner, whispering, I just need to ramp. But for now, we are here together. So, Mr. Glenn, how has your week been?
Yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a busy week. I've been trying to get some new decks to work.
Nice.
I've been playing about a bit with green steel.
Okay.
And with a card that I didn't know existed. So
That's always
playing
good.
about with it's always good.
Flip through the binder and something falls out and you're like, what's this do?
Yeah. So I was playing about with green steel and got to sort of locations, saw Perilous Maze,
Nice.
thought that's interesting, put some characters there and okay, my opponent can challenge my characters off the board, but they have to discard a card to do so each time. Can I combo that with some stuff? Hidden Cove is also another good location. So then I started looking at, well, what have I got that works with locations? And I came across a goofy card that I didn't recognise. I've obviously looked at it before. It's in the binder, but never taken a deep look at it, which allows you to move. Yeah. So it allows you to move a character, move Goofy to the location. Then you get to move another character to that same location for free and draw a card.
Nice.
So playing around with
that.
that.
Anything that draws a card's always going to be relatively good, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what it feels. So many of these sort of fringe colours are lacking at the moment. You've got your 4 decks that are up there that perform really well, and then everything else just feels like it's lacking card draw.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the hope. You've obviously got Doc in there, and it was like, what else do I put? So obviously Clarabelle is kind of your big one in Emerald, but I was trying to build something that was a bit low to the ground and quicker that could really get under the Sapphire decks, and so Clarabelle doesn't really. Clarabelle leads you back to green blue, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You have to hit that ramp for Clarabelle, really.
Yeah, so I've been testing that. It's been interesting. Also, I'm always looking to make a puppies deck work, as you know.
You and your puppies.
And I've got a new trick to make the puppies deck work.
No. This is just cheating, okay? You can't go ahead and say you're going to bring a puppies deck and then go ahead and do this.
There you go. How many of these can I get in a
actual
puppies deck, you reckon? Actual puppies for a puppies deck.
Hey. I'm going to rename you in my phone as Coila DeVille now.
Yeah. Honestly, no animals were hurt in the making of this video.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
No, bless them.
So that's
so
me a bit
you're
busy.
partway there. Maybe in a few more years you might have enough puppies to actually turn up with puppies to go with your puppy deck.
Yeah.
If you can teach them how to play Lorcana, then you could have puppies playing a puppy deck. Now that would be something. That'd be a world's first.
Probably really teach them to play better than I can. That probably wouldn't be too difficult, but
hey, that's my line. But yeah.
So that's been me this week. How has your week been?
Yeah, it's been alright. I went to obviously locals on Friday. Did fine. Lost one game to. I know his name. I can picture his face. Just can't think of it. lost the game to basically an Ember Steel, but it wasn't normal Ember Steel. It was very all over the place, so it was difficult to know what was coming next. 2-1. I bricked in the last one. I think I might have had a chance if I got the right cards. Obviously playing Blurple, so it's kind of difficult matchup anyway. But yeah, did that. The other two games were fine. They were both 2-0s. Played them really well. I think it just went well. I just got a bit unlucky on the Amber Steel one. And then testing. I basically did testing up till Tuesday. So we're recording this a day late actually. So this is actually Thursday for us. We normally record on a Wednesday night, but I stopped on Tuesday as my prep cutoff. So I stopped testing a few days before because I don't want to run into random decks online or in testing that I'm not going to play and it's just going to put me off a deck. So I went on a 6 streak where I won 6 games 2-0 without losing.
Nice.
When that's it, I'm calling it there. I'm not going to push it any further. I know how the deck plays. I know how the deck runs. I don't need to do anything else. So I stopped, printed off the deck list, saved everything so that way it was all locked in. And that was it. I then got the cards, took them out the old sleeves, brand new sleeves, sleeved it all up, put it in the deck box, the whole lot went in my bag, and I'm like, that's it, I'm done. I'm not touching that. So I kind of committed to it early. I was like, I don't need to start changing things here and there. I know how the deck runs. So that was that. And then, unfortunately, with work and stuff, the rest of the week's been a bit chaotic. So we are Thursday night, and I have still not packed for Cardiff. I haven't got anything ready. The only thing I have ready is my deck in my bag. Apart from that, I have nothing. So unless I plan on just turning up with a deck box for the entire weekend,
Which and is it the one deck for Saturday and Sunday? Because you got Fabled on Saturday and then Infinity on Sunday, right?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping Fabled Saturday, Fabled Sunday, because then that means I'm at Top Cup. But
absolutely,
just in case, I have taken an Infinity deck, so I'm taking my Red Blue that won me Set Champs. I've made one tweak, and that's it. I'm not gonna. I don't have time to be testing an Infinity deck. I had to concentrate on the Blurple deck, so I didn't want to split my time between them. So I said, I know that deck works. I know how to run that deck. I know it can do extremely well. We'll just take that. I just made one change. I put the new Alice in, which is the basically hideaway on a body,
right.
just for dime, just in case I come across dime deck. Most of the time they're going to die man on the same turn, and therefore you can't really answer it. But just in case, I've got 2 there, or if I come across anyone playing Chromicon or something random. The only thing I took out for that was 2 Pluto, Super Goof, sorry, because I feel I don't see as much aggro in Infinity. Yes, I'm still going to be good, but I think people will want to play the cards that they can't. So they're going to go back to Harim and Blue Steel and, that side of things. So I'm hoping I could do that. And to be honest, I just want to play Big Pro. So
absolutely.
Might as well take that.
And if or when you make Top Cut, so does that mean you can't play in the Infinity?
No, it's on the
tournament,
same day.
or is
yeah.
So there's
So I don't know what time it starts. I don't know whether if technically you get knocked out in the first round, whether you'd still have time. I don't know. Basically, the tickets for Infinity will go on sale after round 3 of Saturday. So the idea of anyone that's gone 0-3, they know that they're not going to make Top Cut, so therefore they can buy an Infinity ticket. There was no point in putting them on sale pre-hand because the chances are no one's going to buy one just in case. And I don't think they want people turning up just for Infinity. They want, obviously, the people from Saturday to be able to play. But I mean, you're going to get a good idea whether you're going to make Top Cut by then. The chances are if you've lost one game in the first 3, you're unlikely, because I think it's quite a short Top Cut. I think there's around 360 players, and I think it's only the top 32 or 18. So you're talking top 8%. So you're going to have to, I think it's 9 rounds. So you're looking 6 in a draw might squeeze you through. You're probably looking 7 that you need to get through, which is, it's one of those ones, and if you lose one in that first three, you're probably not going to make it. So therefore, you're just pretty much safe to buy an Infinity ticket, and then therefore you can go on. So yeah, fingers crossed. I'd like to maybe win my first three and go, I'm going to buy an Infinity ticket anyway, and then make it all the way through. And oh no, I've wasted £25, but I made Top Cut. So that's the plan. Jinx myself, But yeah, I've re-sleeved both decks. Brand new sleeves straight out of the box. I wasn't taking any chances. And I've even gone one step further of my core constructed decks in one deck box and my Infinities in another. I've got space in both because I have a dual deck box. But I was like, I'm going to split them. I don't want them anywhere near each other. The Infinity one can stay in the bag. So that way, because I'm running blue in both. So I don't want cards to get mixed or anything. So I'm keeping everything separate. So we shouldn't have any issues. Fingers crossed. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Like I say, slightly concerned that I haven't quite finished prepping yet. So, the bit in the intro where I said, how to prep for an event. Don't do what I do. Don't leave it to the last minute. The only thing I would recommend is stop playing a few days beforehand. It's good to have a little break before you go into these things. But apart from that, you can't really go wrong. Just don't leave your pack until the night before because you're going to be running around like a nutter, especially if you've got to record, edit, and upload a podcast in the meantime. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's the answer.
Busy night.
Yeah. How to prep for a tournament. Don't have a podcast. Saves you a lot of time.
Yeah. Don't have a co-host with a pregnant dog who messes up.
Yeah, that's it. I can't blame the puppies. They're too cute, I could blame you. I just can't blame the puppies. So, but yeah, we're obviously expecting a bit of a wide meta into the very first UK CCQ. So we'll have a look at what we're probably going to be expecting, or what I'm going to be expecting. So this is obviously using Ink Tracker again. So this is going back to the whole thing of obviously this is uploaded by people, so there could be mistakes here. There could be someone who's just messing around. Don't think that's going to be the case. Someone who's really got the time to sit there and do this, I don't see it happening. But one interesting thing is green-blue seems to have been a bit of a flash in the pan, one tournament done. It's had the odd result here or there, but it's falling off. Its win rate going first is good, but that's because they can Clarabelle, Shift, Baymax, Under the Sea on turn 3. When you can Under the Sea on turn 3, you're pretty much going to wipe most things. I think it's 3 or 4, one of them. But yeah, so at that point, you're going to be doing some serious damage. But going second is horrendous. Not even winning 40% of their games, going second is really low. The next lowest to that is obviously an aggro deck, which is built to go first, as you can see, the 60% win rate. So that's really low. But yeah, that seems to have been a one tournament done. But I think that's mainly because no one's working on it. Like, if you look at the amount of people that you see deck lists around for Blurple and Purple Steel and Amber Steel, there's loads. Whereas you don't see any for Green Blue. And I think that's why. I think not enough time's going into it, whereas that might change now that we've got Bologna in a couple of weeks, Set Champs start. We could start seeing it a bit more. The issue is Blurple basically found the tech for it, which was to put Monstro in, because they hardcast Heads Held High. They use all their characters to sing Under the Sea. You go, oh no, you've wiped everything, Monstro, clear their board, and then from that point they can't recover. So Monstro was the tech card that basically then stopped that deck, so therefore I think that's why it's starting to fall back off again. A lot of decks are dropping things to fit Monstro in, and it seems to have converted that matchup from being slightly favoured on the green-blue to purple. Blurple can still win it quite easily. So, but yeah, as we can see, Blurple are a sitting favourite at the minute, followed by Purple Steel and then Amber Steel, and I'm not surprised we're back to that triangle of 3 decks, aren't we? It seems to be the same thing at the minute. The win rate for all of them are all in the 60s, which is for going first is all in the 60s.
Yeah.
The one thing I do like the look of is Blackpool does have the highest win rate going second, which I'm happy about. It's slightly less concerning for the dice roll, but it's still not great. You're still under 50%, but it's better than 42. I'd take 46%. So, but yeah, it seems to be quite interesting. We seem to be slowly shifting.
Interesting to see some, blue steel.
Yeah, that seems to be coming back. So it seems to be coming back. I think the thing is the answer. Who on earth's running solo green?
Could that be that? Hang on. Have we got a secret answer here? 66%.
We've got 5 people running solo blue, solo purple, and solo green. And Chris, is that you testing?
75% win rate going second. Is that your secret? Is that green. You were talking about the die roll?
Yeah,
you can always guarantee going second.
You can always guarantee going second. I did say that. Maybe we're onto something here. Only 6 counts of this has been entered, but from those 6 games, they've won 75% of them going second. But yeah. But we'll see. I imagine this to change massively after this weekend. Obviously, we have 3 CCQs on this weekend. And the following weekend is start of Set Champs. So we are really starting to gear up into competitive. Yeah. So I imagine this changing massively.
So are there any CCQs being streamed, or all of them being streamed?
Yeah. I think so. You've got the Sweden one, which is Stockholm Open 2, I believe. Not entirely sure where that's being streamed, but I know Spessie's there casting. And a couple others. I can't remember who else is there. It's bad. I should know, but I can't remember. That will be streamed somewhere. I don't know exactly where. The Cardiff one that I'm going to is being streamed on the Disney Lorcana one. So they've actually got Disney's stream.
Over on Twitch?
Yes. Yeah, all of these will be on Twitch. Spessie might cross it over to YouTube or something, but most of the time they're going to be on Twitch. I think the Cardiff one, we've got Baker, someone else.
DKP, did you say?
No, he's going, but he's obviously not casting.
He's going, yeah. But he'll be there. So.
Yeah. There's some big names. I know a lot of, 3 of the people that test and work with Zan are going. DKP's going. I don't know who else off the top of my head, but there's quite a few big names that I recognise. So it'll be an interesting one. It's going to be good. So my plan is to beat DKP round 1, and then I'm on a high for the rest of it. I don't care if I win or lose.
You want to beat DKP in the finals, surely.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Got to get there first.
Yeah, but for those of us not going, we can tune in.
Yes, yeah. I would have thought all 3 will be on stream somewhere. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I say, I'm slightly nervous, but also not at the same time. Like I say, I'm quietly confident in the deck itself because, I played those 6 games, went on a bit of a streak with it. I'm confident with the deck. It's just I've just got luck in the matchups. If I get good matchups and good dice rolls, then we'll have to see how we go. So there was obviously a couple of big events on the weekend. So we had Summer League, Lorcana National Finals. It was only 51 players, but I think this was quite an interesting one. A lot of Blackpool sitting here, and the green-blue are falling right back into top 16 now. Whereas obviously they were higher up. But a lot of them still on green-blue here. 1 blue still made top 8. But it seems to be, we have a pattern at this one. This was, I believe, in America. And then we had, the other one we had was some of the core constructed. So I think these were both at the same place. This was 356 players. And in this one, we had 2 blue-greens in the top 4, but neither one managed to convert to actually take the win. So we did end up with a global win. Obviously, you can have a look at these deck lists if you want yourself. They're all going to be very, very similar. There's not going to be a lot of difference. Blurple's pretty much locked down to what? Probably 54 cards. There's probably 6 cards that you can play around with. But the green, blue, I thought was quite interesting. Only one bend to the wheel, which I found a bit interesting. It's kind of one of those cards that can really just stop a Blurple deck in its tracks. So I'm surprised that there wasn't more.
I think that's because Under the Sea now has become so heavy.
So you have to play
you've got a lot of that's already 7 cost plus Uninkables, which is
that is nasty. So, but yeah, it seems like it's starting to balance out. Like I say, we do again 1 bend to wheel, 3. So again, you've got 8, 7 plus, and then these are 6 costs. So it's not much, but it's only 1 cost less. It does shift, but so yeah, it seems like Blurple seems to be taking it at the minute. 1 aggro deck managed to make it to the top 8 on this one, whereas obviously the other one we had a few Amber Steels in there. But yeah, I'm not really entirely sure what I'm going to be coming up against. It seems to be a lot of Blurple, followed by a lot of Amber Steel. So, and neither of them are great fun to play against with a Blurple deck. The Mirror's not exactly fun, and Amber Steel's not fun. So, but we'll see. Yeah. So if we look at, obviously, this is from the start of the set right up to date. So this isn't the last few weeks where people really start to narrow down. This is right from the beginning. We are seeing, like we said before, massive counts in these numbers here. Obviously, this one's a newer one, but I think so many people were trying to test this as an answer. But again, we've still only got the same 3, even though we're talking nearly a month now. We're coming up to a month of this set, and we've still got the same 3 as the overall win rate. So I think there's a good chance if anyone is playing the CCQ this weekend, you will come across Amber Steel, Purple Steel, and Blurple. They're pretty much a given. You might not play them, your matchups might not fall that way. I remember doing a Set Champs when I was playing Bucky, and I hit 4 blue steel decks in a row. There was only 4 blue steel players in the entire Set Champs. So, it is one of those ones you will be matchup dependent, but there's a high chance that you're going to run into these 3 decks. So. And that will probably carry over to Set Champs as well. I don't see any major meta shift between now and Set Champs. We might get more narrowed in deck lists, a bit more tidy, but I don't imagine it'll change that much.
No, I don't think so. You might see. It probably won't change much. You might see a little bit more Amber Steel, just because, again, it's a deck that's had a bit more history than sort of Blurple.
You've also got to think as well, as Set Champs, you're talking, they're not as big a tournaments, and you get a lot of players that don't want to commit to like the Dumbos and stuff, so therefore you might find that it changes slightly. So you might not find you'll find those 3 decks, but they might not be quite as heavy in those numbers. You're more likely to find the random decks like the Churner Dogs without the Churner, so the dogs. Those sort of decks, green, steel, maybe a bit of Ruby Amethyst in there. But the majority are going to be those 3 that have been on the triangle right since the start, aren't they? So, yeah. Going on from there, we will move over to our Art Matters game, which I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who did comment. We had so much good response on this one. So we're actually going to go over a few that people did themselves before we do ours. So let's open these up.
Yeah, so just as a reminder, while you're doing that, this week we were looking for cards based on the art only, so not sort of who the character is, but what the art on the card looks like, who you would have as your bodyguard. So, we went off partying last week with our characters that we're having a good time with. We're coming away from the party. It's late at night. We've got to walk home. Who are we taking with us to be our bodyguard? So who did people come up with?
Yeah, so the first one we had, which I've got to admit, I was going to have this card. So when I saw this in the comments, it's like, damn it. Is Cobra Bubbles, former CIA. I was like, just suited, booted, ready to go, staying back a little bit, a little bit inconspicuous maybe, yeah. Definitely see that. This was Bev on our comments, obviously put this one in. Yeah, that was a good one. I like this one. It was a very good choice, I think. Moving on from there, we have Big Noodle, who come in with Calhoun and Callahan. Again, great choice, I think. Definitely someone you wouldn't want to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she'd have any problems picking you up and throwing you down an alleyway if you stop. So, moving on from there, we have a Maui Shark. Now, this one was actually a triple. So this person picked 3. And I was like, no, you can't have 3. You got to pick 1.
Right.
So I can't remember exactly what they were now, but it was something like, I'm not going to guess because I can't remember. But when I replied to him and said, no, you got to pick one, which one's your top one, they went with Maui. So I like this. I like Maui Shark.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, if you're walking along with a great big shark with a massive great hook, next year it's going to put off a few muggers, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you stand there and there's a half human, half shark, I think that's end of conversation, right? Give a shit. Don't worry. Yeah, so that was a good one. I like this. We had Joe's one, which was Cinderella Stouthearted. Again, great choice. I don't think this one's very inconspicuous, though. The shield and you're they're gonna see you coming, aren't they? But
unless we're coming out of like a Comic Con or something
dress.
like that,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that is a good point. This one was from Panos. So Panos wrote in, he wanted Baymax. I like this choice. I can see him in his suit of armor, and then you get home and you got the hangover, and he just turns into, I'm here to help Baymax. It's a 2-in-1.
I like this. Panos has done well there actually because I can get a lift home as well, right? I haven't even got to stagger home with him next to me, right? I can just
jump on his back and away you go.
Yeah.
How many people can you hold? Is it like a 6-seater or is it? And then Saddest Boy put in 2. I let him have both because it was one of those ones I can see it. So we've got Steamboat Rival peaked and Bad Guy peaked. So technically it's 1 because it's 2 peaked. But yeah, I mean, we've heard of Pete and repeat and, to stop people singing songs. But when you've got 2 peaks as bodyguards, I mean, you're definitely not going to start any trouble there, are you? So
no, he's a pretty big bad guy.
Yeah, definitely. So moving on from there is our ones for this week.
So, yeah, it feels tough now because people have come up with really good ones. But there were a lot that I looked at and thought interesting for different reasons. But I thought, if I'm coming out of a club, we're maybe taking a shortcut through a bit of a back alley. I don't want any trouble to even start, so I'm going to have someone beside me who is just going to put anyone off by the looks of him. Nice. So I've gone for Dump Truck. So
nice.
I think he
Good choice.
Pretty mean. He's if anyone jumps us, he's going to be right in there. But yeah, I thought someone just mean bruiser.
Nice. It fits well with your dog theme this week as well.
It does.
One thing I always find with this card is we don't know how tall Dump Truck is. There's nothing to scale him by. Is he this big? Because if so, that's not a very good bodyguard then. Let's be honest. Pick him up and put him in
I'm not
pocket.
that big, but
what have we got? We've got some breaking bits of Jafar behind, and there's nothing to scale him against. I reckon Dump Truck's this big. I reckon he's going in your pocket. It's a pocket bodyguard. You can take him anywhere with you. So yeah, I went with, obviously someone stole my Cobra Bubbles, so I kind of liked this one, and then I did think of the Half Shark, but I was like, you can't really walk down the road with a shark. So I went with Stitch instead. I was like, you can't walk down the road with a shark. Let's go with Stitch. Why not? I was like, he's got 4 hands. This is perfect. One of them could hold my drink. The other one a bag of crisps. Then he's still got enough for a sword and a water pistol. That's perfect. What more could you want from a bodyguard who also carries your stuff for you?
But you were saying dump truck was small. I mean,
yeah, but this is Stitch.
Stitch
You
is
wouldn't mess with
like
Stitch, would you? Let's be honest.
Yeah, but
but we don't know the size
he's
of the
going to run off with the
could
ice
be
cream.
this big. Dump truck could be fitting in Stitch's hand, And there you go. My bodyguard can carry yours. Perfect.
But Stitch ain't going to stop any muggers. He's going to be running off with the bottle of beer you asked him to hold for a second.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, yeah. Be more. I'm his bodyguard by the end of it, but yeah. I thought the 4 arms will probably come in handy as a bodyguard. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I like to think the chances are no one's going to try and mug me anyway. So why not have a fun bodyguard? Eh? Why not? So yeah, that was my choice. I went from Cobra Bubbles to Stitch. Good choice.
What did you do?
So for this week, I've got a good one for you. This one is going to be looking at the card only. Obviously, no can't even say that word. I've said it in the last 2 episodes. For some reason, I can't say it tonight. The characteristics of the person. Nothing we know about them, whether they're hero, villain, anything. Card art only. And we want to include a little bit of yourself in this one. So, out of all the cards, from the card art alone, which one would you most want to cosplay? Which one would you like to be able to... No budget aside, I can't make cosplay, I can't stitch, I can't build stuff. I wouldn't be able to make a cosplay. But put all that aside, if you had someone who made a perfectly fitted, perfectly suited, exactly what you want, who would you most want to cosplay? So yeah, have a look through and think, I'd love to be dressed like that at the next DLC. So yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comments, and we'll give you a shout out on the next one. Okay, so moving away from the Art Matters game now, we're talking a little bit about, obviously, event prep. So we've gone across it a little bit already, but obviously I'm almost using this podcast as part of my prep. So we've looked at what we might be coming up against, looking at the local meta or what we think is going to be the meta. Obviously, you don't know who's going to take what. But also there are a lot of things you can be doing, obviously, beforehand that could really help you out for the day. So obviously I've already mentioned that I re-sleeved my entire deck. So that's brand new sleeves, straight out of the box. You normally get 100 sleeves in a box, so take the rest of the sleeves with you, just in case. You might have one tear, you might drop it on the floor and it get dirty or something like that, so take the rest of that box with you. You've also got silly little things like your deck list. The amount of times I've seen people sitting handwriting a deck list out 10 minutes before the tournament starts, not looking at anyone going. But, just... if you can,
I wasn't
print
writing
it
it out. Let's be fair.
No, I'll give you 2.
I was putting the deck together.
I think that's worse. But having that deck list ready. If you've got an access to a printer or someone who has, have it printed. One of the main things is not everyone has brilliant handwriting. I don't myself. That is the main reason why I print it, because my handwriting is shocking. The last thing you want is a judge not being able to read your handwriting and stuff, and it could cause issues. Just get a nice printed. You can do it from Dreamborn. You can do deck list. Go into your deck list, and then there's a registration sheet, I believe. I think it's called registration sheet. And it prints it off for you. Just got to put your name, sign it, and you're away. You're done. So you've got things like that. And then you've got things like...
You don't want to start you don't want to kick off your day being in a bit of a flap. It's like, I did it at a tournament. I don't recommend it. Get there, get everything prepped beforehand. So you just arrive on the day, you get yourself registered. You can scope out the the venue. You can have a chat with other people, because again, that's one of the biggest things with going to Set Champs and these bigger events. It's a fantastic opportunity to meet people. Yeah. You've got something in common immediately. That's the nice thing.
Yeah.
You're there. You're all there to play Lorcana. So You don't have to be worried if you're not sure what to talk about, or how to approach someone. Just go and ask them, how they're enjoying Fabled. What
Yeah,
they're looking forward
excellent.
to most about the day's play. So yeah, really good opportunity to meet people and stuff. So yeah, use your time to be able to do that, settle in, and don't have to worry about am I sure I've got the right cards in the box? Have I written out the deck list? All of that sort of stuff. Just get that done
Yeah, you don't want that in your mind while
beforehand.
you're getting ready. Like we say from our judge episode, where we had our judge Imogen on, they're there to help in all manners. So one thing I'd like to do whenever I get to somewhere I haven't been before, find out where the toilets are, find out where those facilities and stuff are, because sometimes you don't get long in between rounds. You might finish your game and you're due to start the next one in 2-3 minutes. If you then have to go find someone to find out where the toilets are and then all that, you can putting pressure on yourself. If you know where they are, you're round ends, you pack up, you go to the toilet. It just makes your day a lot more smoother, a lot more hassle free, and a little bit easier for yourself. One thing you'll see a lot of venues, some of them do, but a lot of them don't. Don't forget water, food, stuff like that. Just even snacks, just something to keep you going throughout the day. Just put it in your bag. Most people will have a bag with their deck list and playmat and stuff like that in. Just stick a couple of little snacks in your bag or something just to keep you going. The venue may do food. You may be an event that has a lunch break if you're lucky enough, but most of them don't. And if you are running one of these heavier decks that are heavy on control, a lot of your games may be going close to time and you might not get long between, so you might not have time to pop to shop. Just because the venue has a local shop next door doesn't mean you might not get the time to go and visit it. So make sure you're taking stuff like that with you. And
And if
then
you can't
obviously,
get lunch, what's your go-to tournament snack?
yeah, exactly. Me,
Yeah, what would you?
you put me on the spot here. Now, normally I am terrible. I am absolutely terrible, and I normally take something really bad for me, so I'll end up taking some sort of sweets.
Okay.
Whereas this time around, I've tried to be sensible. I've thought about it in advance. I have bought. Obviously, I know I'm staying over at Cardiff, so I've bought myself some like panna chocolates in individual wrappers, like wrapped up. I've bought a little crate of 8 bottles of water, and I've bought some cashew nuts. So my idea is I can take a pan chocolate with me in the
Yeah.
morning. Monster, but that's just standard me. I drink Monster every day. So I'll have my Monster and my pan chocolate in the morning before I start playing. And then I've got the cashew nuts in my bag to keep myself going. Now, I didn't want to have something like sweets that give you that massive energy boost and then you fade off in the rest of the day. So I've actually tried to be a bit more sensible. I'll take a bottle of water and my cashew nuts with me. If there's somewhere to get food, I might grab something. Most of the time, I've got to admit, during these events, I don't really feel like eating. Most of the time, I'm so like focused that I don't want to eat. I don't want to like break like my concentration and such, which is probably a really bad thing to do. You probably should stop and eat. I know a lot of players who don't, and it's not the best. I will be taking, if he does see this, I doubt he will. He's probably going to be a very busy man when this comes out. I will be taking a Huel for Harlan because I had a discussion with him a little while ago and he never takes food, like never, to the point where on one of his last events he felt dizzy and faint afterwards where he hadn't eaten. So I said to him, what about like a Huel thing? And he was like, yeah, I just always forget, so I'm going to put one in my bag and take it and be like, there you go, have it.
So
So
that's what I tend to do for tournaments. I tend to take a protein shake. I
yeah,
think I think it's important. I mean, you do what suits you, but I think you need to be eating, especially if it is set champs. You might be okay, right?
yeah,
5 rounds,
Set Champs is
you might
different.
get away with it. But if you're going to a CCQ and you're playing 9 rounds
Yeah,
in a day, is it?
it's
Yeah,
basically 10 hours of Lorcana.
yeah, you need to get some fuel in there. You need to eat. If you don't get the chance of a proper lunch break, or if you do get a lunch break as well, I mean, you don't necessarily want to go and have a huge meal
No,
because
no,
you play
feel
your
tired
next
for the
game, you
rest of
might
it.
be all right after that. Yeah, you're probably ready for a nap on your on your cards. But you need to eat. So you need to find something that works for you. As you said, Sugar Rush might sound great for your next game, but the game
Yeah.
after that, you're going to be in that sort of sugar crash. So, um, yeah, so it's definitely worth something to have a think about. Try and get a routine for yourself and work. And yeah, as you say, don't leave it to chance. Hope there's something there,
Yeah,
and then
always take
find that you're
something.
in a venue that hasn't got something that that suits you. So if you can, take something.
Yeah, like Glenn said before, obviously these are massive events and there are going to be people there that you may want to meet. There may be casters there that you want to go say hello to. So the last thing you want to be doing is faffing around with any little bits. So try and get as much organised beforehand as you can. So, making sure you got that playmat, sleeves, deck list, your dice, everything organised, nice, you know where it is. And silly little things like don't forget your phone charger, don't forget a power bank, those things can really make a difference. If you're the sort of person that spends all the time on your phone and then you get halfway through the day and you've got 10% of your phone left, that could stress someone out. So silly little things like that, which could be easily forgotten. Yes, we're going to play in the Lorcana tournament, but you're also away from your home for a set amount of hours. So just make sure you got the things that you would if you were going away for a weekend. Unfortunately, that does mean that most of the time you go to these events and you roll up with a little suitcase for 2 nights. But, you'd rather have too much than not enough. So, but is there anything else? Obviously, I mentioned about I stopped playing a few days before just to stop myself from making any changes or overthinking my deck. One thing I do carry on is sometimes I carry on my mulligan practice, which I've spoken about before, where I will do the mulligan stage, or altar stage. I think they've changed it to now. I would do that. I would then put the cards, shovel it all again, and do it again, just to really set into my mind of what I do. If you know roughly your matchups, you could go through and say, right, this game I'm playing Steel. You draw out your cards and go, right, I don't want this, get rid of that. Do your order and see where you're sitting. That you can do right up to the moment, right up to the start of the event. That is really good practice, and it's not going to be anything that would put you off of the deck. There's not going to be anything that's going to be like, oh no, I need to change a card. But I try and stop playing a couple of days beforehand. But apart from that, I don't think there's much else. I mean, enjoy yourself.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Enjoy yourself. If you're in Cardiff, make sure you go up and see FPS.
yeah, definitely.
Um, I mean, I say we, the royal we, because FPS has got to try and edit this video and then get a bag packed and before getting off to Cardiff. But we'll link the judge episode
Yeah,
in the description below, because I think that's, if you've not seen that, we had the pleasure of interviewing Judge Imogen, who has judged more than one DLC and was co-head judge at Worlds for
yeah,
Lorcana. So very experienced judge, and Imogen, gave us some great tips on how to get the most out of tournaments, how to get the most out of judges at tournaments, and some of the common sort of mistakes that players make, or situations that they get themselves in. So well worth having a look at that, especially if
definitely.
like you are lining up for maybe your first set champs and this all feels a bit new, or maybe you've played some set champs before but you're now going along to a CCQ or one of these bigger events. Yeah, definitely worth having a look at that. I think that always helps. Yeah, and then just enjoy it. Remember you're there. It's an experience. You want to do well. Everyone would love to go and win these things, but you can get so much out of the experience, regardless of what your results are. So do enjoy them.
Yeah, exactly.
Let
I
us
mean, we all
know.
play this card game because we enjoy playing it, right? So, you know, the,
Absolutely.
it's an extension to that. Competitive play is designed to be competitive, but it's as competitive as you take it. If you go into it saying, if I lose all my games today, I'm happy. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, as long as you enjoyed yourself, it really doesn't matter. But talking about enjoying events, obviously we had some news today on Lawcast, because this is unusual for us. We don't normally make Lawcast. Normally, Lawcast is after we've done the recording. But we had a little bit of news on DLCs going forward having a new family area. So I don't know whether you caught this earlier, and did you manage to?
I didn't, unfortunately. I didn't. So come on,
So
this is
I
news to
didn't
me
get
as
all
well.
the details, so I was writing this down while trying to look after Little and stuff at the same time. But so they're bringing in a family area into DLCs, which is designed to, I think, mainly give kids a break if you're there with kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they're going to have like puzzles, they're going to have trivia, they're going to have
Okay.
Disney Plus playing on a TV, so they're going to have movies playing and stuff like that. So it's supposed to be somewhere that if you're say like I was going, I was taking them the other half and Little and you probably could spend the day there. You know, you got bits to do,
Yeah.
you got the family, you got
Cool.
trivia, you got some side events that the missus could take part in, you know, and bits and bobs. So they're trying to open this up really to everyone, which is nice.
Well, that's nice
Um,
because there'd be a lot of kids, I think, who, like with us, you've maybe got a parent that plays, the child
yeah,
plays, maybe the child actually fancies going to one of these bigger events, but they're not going to sit and play through 9 rounds.
no, that's it. They could
They're
do
probably going to go
5,
along,
drop,
play a
and then
few,
go to the others.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if there's another parent there with them or whatever,
Hmm.
that can look after them, they can still have a good day. They're not just standing around
Yeah, exactly.
waiting for you to finish your games, kind of thing. So that's a really good idea. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
like that.
it's a really nice touch. Like I said, we've got the puzzles and stuff now, so you know, it makes sense. Also, there is going to be new swag at DLCs, so we're going to have T-shirts, hats. They didn't confirm what it was, but we're assuming we're going to start seeing the mugs that they've been showing off, maybe some stickers. They've said there's
Cool.
new stuff coming to Prizable. They haven't confirmed what it is. Obviously, we don't know. It's all speculation, but we're imagining possibly like cups and stuff like that. Which we keep seeing on Lawcast. They keep showing these things off, but no one said anything about them. So we've got that coming. They announced a new CCQ in America, which is going to be Charlie's Collectible Show, which is going to be a big one.
Big
I
one.
mean, that's always a big tournament anyway. They always do so well on their broadcast and everything for that. So the fact that that's got a CCQ is going to be really good. That'll be really good to watch. They're also clarified how DLC works with Top Cut. So when you look at a DLC page, it's a little bit misleading because it shows day 1 9 rounds, day 2 was it 9 or was it 8? Basically, it shows day 1 a certain amount of rounds and then
No.
up to 12 on the next day.
Yeah.
So everyone went, oh, that's nice. You can go for the 9 and then finish off the 12. That's not quite how it is. So at the end of day 1, anyone who's on 18 points or more will continue on to day 2.
Okay.
So there's a top cut
you've
before
got to
the
still
top cut.
be in with a chance, kind of thing.
Yes, yeah. So you're
Right.
still in with a chance of top cut. So basically, if you've got more than 18 points, you will then can continue the next day to finish off the next 3-4 rounds, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Into top cut for that day. So it's not quite as it seemed. So they just wanted to clarify that up. Just
I quite
that
like
could
that.
make a difference. Yeah.
I quite like that. That gives you something. Almost feels like a bit of a reward, right? You've achieved something because 18 points is doable, right? I think.
But also, there's probably a lot of games where people are like on the border. So, like, argument's sake, say we were playing each other. I was on 16 points, and you were on 16 points. You might go, well, neither of us making top cut. We'll just play it out. You know, you end up with a draw. You end up whatever. Whereas you're like, hang on a minute, no. If I win this, I could get to day 2 as such. You know, not top cut, but it's day 2. So, which therefore then could give me more prizeable tickets or whatever. I don't know what you get for day 2, but you know, there's something to fight for that's not also top cut. So yeah, but they wanted to clarify that because I think there was a few things that people weren't quite understanding that they didn't want people to book like a hotel for 2 days and then realise that they're not actually playing the Sunday. They could have done one day if that made it a lot easier for a family, for instance. But yeah, so that was nice to clarify. We're also starting to get a little bit of a roadmap going. So they're starting to introduce a roadmap with judging and rules. So we're going to be getting something called. I did take a picture of this. See, I knew I was prepped. I knew it. So in between November and December, we are getting something called Core Document Finished and Released. So Core stands for Core something something something. I can't remember what it is. I'm not even going to try and remember. But basically, this document is going to be a basic rules and how to play. So this is going to be for your local game stores, for people to pick up and read. That is a very it's going to be in depth in the way that you know everything you need to know, but it's not going to be like tournament level stuff. So they want to get this finished and up done, so that way everyone can have this and it's nice and easy to follow. Because obviously the game's changed since the very start, where we kind of had one of these.
I mean, that's interesting in itself. So does that mean that we might see, if they're going to do that, they're either going to have to then renew it quite regularly, or are we
This is
seeing a
what I think
slowdown in new mechanics for a while?
No, I think the idea is that they're going to have this core document, and the core document will be updated.
Right.
So, also going from there, we are going to have general rules expert test. So they're actually releasing a test that you can take. This test won't guarantee you anything. So if you're someone who is a judge or really wants to be a judge, just by taking this test doesn't mean you're guaranteed anything. You're not all of a sudden like you're in for your name's on a list or anything like that. But they are trying to push tournament organizers to they will recommend people that have got this. So they will say,
Right.
we would recommend you to use someone who has passed this test over someone who hasn't. They're not going to recommend individuals or anything like that, but they will recommend that you take someone who has passed this over someone who hasn't. They haven't said
That's
anything.
nice. So your local game store can sort of potentially offer it out if you've got a couple of people who are kind of interested in that. They can say, right, go and do this. Yeah, you do this test. You pass this test. We know that you've got enough of a basic knowledge to to judge set jams. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be off rules and policies and stuff like that. It's going to be general, like basically what a judge should know. Basically, it's basically the start of a judge program about it being a judge program. I believe this is going to be open to everyone. I don't think this is going to be behind a paywall or anything. I think you're just going to be able to take this, which if it is, I highly recommend everyone doing it, whether you want to be a judge or not, because you can't have too much information. The more you know the rules, the better you're going to be at the game. So I would recommend everyone doing this, whether you want to be a judge or not. If you don't pass, it's fine. You'll probably learn something and you can move forward from there. Take it again in a few weeks, month, whatever. But if it is open and it's not behind a paywall or anything like that, then I would highly suggest everyone doing it anyway. Then we're going to get play correction guidelines and tournament rules. So we've had a bit of that already. And basically this is them saying that they're going to start keeping this a lot more up to date. We had a massive gap between the start one and the latest release of tournament rules. And they know that it needs doing a lot more often. So we should be seeing another one between November and December as a little update. I'm guessing because obviously we've got a new set in November, so therefore we already know there's something new coming with that. So therefore there's going to have to be an update. And then from there, we also know in Q1 2026 that there will be multiple levels of tests. So again, expanding on those tests. So there may be like a beginner's judge, intermediate. So you've got like your local game store, Set Champs, CCQ, DLC, that sort of thing. So it will scale and get harder and harder. And whatever level of the test you've got will be, what you might get picked for. They're also going to bring in badges. So, argument's sake, say I was a judge and Glenn was a judge, but I really, really focused in on the rules of the game. My key focus was the rules, and Glenn's key focus was on the policy of the game. So all those little policies behind. I could have judge status, but also a rules badge. So I am the rules. I'm specialised in rules. Glenn would have one that's specialised in policy. So therefore you can start to specialise in each bit. So the ones they've got here as an example is like rules, policy and cheating. So you could have someone who's like who really narrows down exactly what is cheating and whatever, and they'd end up with this badge to say, basically, if you had a room full of 20 judges and someone gets accused of cheating, you'd call the guy with the cheating badge to clarify. And yeah, from there, they basically said that they're going to open up more of a roadmap into resources. So we should see more and more of this and more information, which is always good.
Cool. And you can catch that if people are not familiar. It's on a Thursday. Most weeks. I'm not sure it's every single week, but it's most weeks on Thursday.
Yeah,
over on Twitch.
Yeah, so it's on the official Disney Lorcana Twitch at 6 p.m. UK time. Obviously, you'll have to order out for your own time zone. I believe it's pretty much every Thursday. The only ones they've missed are when there's been like a DLC on or Gen Con or something like that. So where they're at something, so they can't do it. But if you're in the Discord, most of the time they will post in Discord. If you're on X and you follow them, they will post when there's going to be one, so you can keep up to date there. But yeah, it's quite nice. I'm enjoying, being able to sit down when I get from work and have a bit of Lorcana news before we go into the weekend. So as we come to wrap up for this week, we have one last bit for you. So if you've stuck around this long, thank you very much. Please do give us a like and a comment. And hit that subscribe button, because we have got our giveaway coming up. So we are starting now. It will be in the episode description. The giveaway will be there. So follow the instructions on it. Should be nice and easy for everyone. It'll basically take you to our YouTube page, which most people will probably be on, but you may be listening on Spotify. It will take you to our YouTube page, to our X, our Instagram, and to our Facebook. And if you visit each one and follow, you basically get an entry. So you get one for each one you do. You get 5 for YouTube. And if you complete all of them, you get a bonus 10. So you can earn up to 20 entries into the giveaway. And basically this will keep running until we hit 500 subs. I think we're just over 100 away. We're currently like about 380 something, somewhere around there. So this will continue to run until we hit 500. There will obviously be more information as we get closer on exactly what the prizes and everything is. We've got to sort all that out. But basically, we want to start building this up now. And yeah, while you're there, obviously, if you subscribe to the channel, that really helps us push this giveaway forward and gets us there sooner. So yeah, that will be in the description.
And remember to join into the Art Matters game. Comment below your Art Matters, who you would cosplay. So from just looking at the art on the card, if somebody could create the costume for you, if you're not an artsy person, who would you cosplay? So let us know that in the comments as well.
Yeah, perfect. So I think it is that time of the week. I've already done it. I've already rolled up my playmat and packed away with everything. I'm ready to go. But just in case you're not, it's time to roll up that playmat.
Pack away the dice.
And remember, stay uninkable.
See you next time.